Good afternoon, class. I just wanted to touch base with everyone and ensure that we're all on the same page. First, I want to congratulate you all for your efforts in keeping up with the assignments and the discussions, and also having patience in receiving feedback. As you know, at this point, you should all have received your grades for units 1 and 2. Unit 3 will be delivered by Sunday night, so look out for that. And I also wanted to thank those of you who have emailed me and communicated your needs, as well as the situation, whether you're traveling somewhere, whether you have something going on at home. I really do appreciate that open communication as we are in a virtual environment. So this brings me to my next point, and I would like to offer everyone an opportunity to have a phone call with me. We're moving into midterm week, and which I'll talk about in just a bit. But I wanted to hold April 15th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. as a time where you can call me and for 15 minutes basically let me know what any if you're having any concerns, if you have any questions about specific chapter, whatever it is. I want to dedicate that time to each and every one of you, especially since we're working in this virtual environment. So after this message, I'll be sending out a link to Doodle Poll, and I just wanted to show you all really quickly how that looks. So here that goes. As you all see, it's a 15-minute check-in. You'll be getting this link right here, and my phone number is right here. So I would love to call all of you, but it's just so much easier if during your time, if you can call me. I'll have all of your stuff pulled up and I'll be ready to go. It's just going to make it much easier if you were to call me. As well as emailing me the night before with any questions you want to discuss during our call. So again, they're from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. They're first come, first serve. So after this announcement, you should see a link go out. Okay? All right. So, my third point is I want to give everyone some insight on what the groups are doing, what all the groups are doing in this section. So, I am teaching two sections of this class. That means we have 8 groups. That means we have an immense amount of case studies going on. Okay, so what is the end goal? The end goal obviously is to analyze a case study and come up with these solutions and recommendations, and be so comfortable with it that you can do it in a real life organization, right? Well, your teammates are also your other groups are also looking at other organizations. And at the end, I want to create a library. So we're looking now at 6 organizations that you now have access to after this class. You can look into the recommendations and solutions. And the great part about it is that they're real life, now in time issues that we're dealing with when it comes to D&I. Okay, so I just want to name all the organizations that are being examined during this time. That is Cracker Barrel, Google. Berkshire is being examined 3 times from 3 different groups. I've approved all of them, and I think this is great so that you guys can all see how different groups come up with different solutions. Or it'll be amazing to see if you all come up with the same solutions. Who knows, right? So that's a great way to analyze. We're really digging in deep into Berkshire actually this quarter, and I'm all for it. We also have Uber, Twitter, and lastly we have Apple. So we have some great organizations that we're looking at that are relevant, current, and I look forward to seeing what the end product is for all of them and sharing those case studies with everyone in the course. Okay? All right. So now I want to talk about the midterm. So as you all know, we are ending Unit 4 tomorrow, and I will be examining your assignments for B as well as looking at your Unit 4 discussions while you're working on your midterm. And your midterm is very similar, very similar to your final. Okay, the only difference is that you're working on your own and that it's a presentation. So your notes section is going to serve as kind of like your Word document, right? You're going to tell me what your visual presentation means, okay? So let's go ahead and turn into Unit 5 and look at the overview here. So as you see, it's in a PowerPoint, and you're going to be answering these 6 questions, all right? The objective is to develop a diversity and inclusion strategy for the case study below. And that case study is right here. So you'll see that link. You can open it up. And you will all be studying Broward Health. All right, so I don't know if you all know this, but I reside now in South Florida. I'm originally from New York, and I've actually worked with Broward Health. This is a real case that I worked on, and I would like to see what you all think and what strategies and solutions you will implement individually, okay? So that would be really, really interesting. This is an actual case. All right, so what questions will you be answering? Well, you'll be looking at what are the obstacles and the challenges in this case. As always, we'll be looking at the levels of the systematic and inclusive framework. I see a lot of you are getting familiar with it and are using it in your paper. Please continue to just develop those papers, okay? It really will help you for your midterm as well as your final. You'll also be describing the communication methods, which you worked on, I believe, in Unit 2. And you'll look at the key competencies, tools, and frameworks. I believe that's in Unit 3, as well as what leadership's role is in fostering inclusive culture. And finally, solutions, right? After analyzing this organization, what are potential solutions to solve this diversity issue? Again, you'll be using your notes section of the PowerPoint to explain your logic in detail. Utilize proper citations and resources. For your first assignment, some of you did not use APA. Again, I'm a stickler for APA because it's so important to know where is your information coming from and giving credit where credit is due, okay? Also, look at your midterm rubric, right? You can open that up and see exactly what I'm going to be looking for when I look at your PowerPoint, okay? So you can take some time and look at that. All right, so that is the midterm. Now I want to take some time and answer a question that I received in an email regarding diversity. And I thought it was such a great question that I wanted to share it with everyone. First, I want to read the comment and the question, and then I will share my thoughts. Practicing what you preach is the golden rule for leadership development when it comes to D&I. That is why the author here motivates us to constantly question our and others' assumptions. However, I wonder if this gets psychologically tiring. Communists preach constantly self-questioning as a way to have thought and ideology purity. Is it a healthy thing to constantly question yourself? I wonder. I'm curious as to what your thoughts are on this question. So that was specifically directed to me, and thank you so much, because I was just thinking about this last week. So about 8 weeks ago, I signed up for your infamous Ancestry.com. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I finally got to it. I received my results actually the same day that I got this email, which was kind of ironic. So, all my life, I've been a mutt, right? I grew up as a Dominican, Native American, Spaniard, and Haitian girl. Who turned into a woman, right? And developing, I never looked white enough. I never looked black enough. I never looked Spanish enough. I was always just this mutt. So I was really eager to see what Ancestry had to say, right? So here are my results. It was so interesting to see that I'm from Nigeria and Senegal, and I have a huge part of me that's European. Things are kind of making sense, but I experienced that, discomfort and comfort feeling that we've been talking about, right? Comfort in the sense that I'm joining a group. I kind of know where I belong, right? But that discomfort of, wait, so what I thought, was it, was it true or not? And then all these questions start piling up. But at the end of the day, no different than looking at it from a leader point of view, or looking at your own personal life and looking at diversity. What is your foundation? Anytime you question yourself, you must look at your foundation, what your values are, right? Organizations have missions and value statements. Anytime there's a situation and a problem, they hone in on that. That is where they start up again, right? So thinking about yourself, healthy thing, yes, of course. Constantly, I would say no, right? We don't always want to question ourselves. And when we do, again, going back to our foundation, no different than an organization has, again, its missions and values, we as individuals have our values and our purpose in life, right? Always honing in and coming back to purpose and to values. And I think that was an excellent question. When we do tend to question ourselves, I think that is us just growing our self awareness. But to go as far as to question our competence or our self worth, our self purpose, because of these genetics that we were born with, right? The color that we are, the gender that we are, the disability that we may have, right? That is not fair, right? We can't question that, because that is who we are. And I want to leave you guys on that note, that this class is, yes, we're looking at an organization, but no different. Organizations are living organisms, if you think about it, right? So this class truly relates to that work piece and also that personal piece. Okay, if you guys have any thoughts, please comment under this YouTube video. I would really like to know what you guys are thinking, and we can have further discussion. Okay, have a great afternoon and a great weekend, and you are doing such a great job. Hang in there. Okay.